An excursion to green farm. The kind of happiness that was dazzling on the faces of primary 6 students of Government Science Academy on the excursion they embarked on to a green farm at Sankara village was indeed overwhelming. All the children looked tired. Madam Binta, who accompanied them, said this was the best excursion in the history of the school. Yahaya, who was among the students, was also full of excitement. Upon his arrival home, he hugged his father and said, "Daddy, I want to be a farmer." He also ran to the kitchen with a wide smile and whispered to his mother, who was busy preparing supper, that he wanted to be a farmer. The following morning, his mother asked, "What kind of farmer do you want to become?" "I would like to produce green beans in commercial quantities," Yahaya responded. He further said, "Our excursion to Green Farm was what stimulated my interest in agriculture, especially green beans farming." His father became anxious to know what was so special about the green farm that had suddenly prompted his son to pick an interest in agriculture. He eagerly inquired, "Tell us about the green farm." Yahaya said Green Farm was a 900-hectare farmland on which green beans were produced in commercial quantities. Mechanized farming existed on the Green Farm. He added, the farm was owned and managed by Dr. Rashida, who teaches horticulture at a university. During the excursion, Dr. Rashida gave us a detailed explanation about green beans farming. She began by saying that green beans are the unripe young fruits of various cultivars of the runner bean and the yard-long bean. Green beans are harvested and consumed with their enclosing pods before the bean seeds inside become fully mature. Green beans originated in Central and South America. They are known by many common names including French beans, string beans, snap beans. She further said that the first stringless bean was bred in 1894 by Calvin Keene. Most modern green bean varieties do not have strings. Research has shown that green beans are classified by growth habit into 2 major classes, bush dwarf beans and pole climbing beans. Dr. Rashida explained the 2 classes of beans as follows. Bush beans are short plants growing to no more than 2 feet 61 centimeters in height, often without requiring supports. They generally reach maturity and produce most of their fruit in a relatively short period, then cease to produce. Bush-type beans are often grown on commercial farms due to the ease of mechanized harvesting. Pole beans have a climbing habit and produce a twisting vine, which must be supported by poles. Pole beans may be common beans, runner beans, or yard-long beans. There is also a type of green bean that has both bush and pole features, as is sometimes classified separately from bush and pole varieties. Their runners can be about 3 to 10 feet long. Dr. Rashida added that, according to the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, in recent times, the top producers of green beans in metric tons were China, Indonesia, India, Turkey, and Thailand. Daddy, the lecture was interactive and very interesting as she gave room for asking questions, Yahaya excitedly said. Fatima asked her about how green beans are planted. Dr. Rashida answered that to plant green beans, one must first ensure the soil temperature of the farm is at least 15 to 20 degrees Celsius before sowing the seeds to prevent slow germination or rot. Green beans are a warm weather crop which produces the highest yields in air temperatures between 18 and 27 degrees Celsius. After ensuring the compatibility of the soil temperature, for bush beans, one should sow them 1 to 1.5 inches deep and 2 to 3 inches apart, with bean rows 18 inches apart. As for pole beans, one should plant 3 or 4 seeds around each of the poles in rows that are 2 to 3 feet apart. Green beans are easy to grow as they require only light maintenance and care to thrive. They need 6 to 8 hours of full sun per day, making sure that the plants have access to direct sunlight. They also need well-drained soil to prevent rotting or developing powdery mildew. Green bean plants need about 2 to 5 inches of water per week. The water should be applied to the soil directly to keep the plants nourished. Nkechi also asked Dr. Rashida how green beans are harvested. She responded by saying that bush beans generally become ready for harvesting within 50 to 55 days. The pole beans are ready for harvesting when they are 4 to 6 inches long and slightly firm. And before the beans protrude their pods, gently pull the beans from the plant, taking care not to damage the stems or tear off flowers. Abdul asked, do green beans need fertilizer? Dr. Rashida said, beans typically don't need supplemental fertilizer because they fix their own nitrogen in the soil. However, poor soil should still be amended with aged manure or compost prior to planting. Sarah also asked, can green beans produce more yields even during the rainy season? Dr. Rashida smiled and said, these children are amazing, and from your questions, you are potential farmers. Well, green beans need 6 to 8 hours of full sun per day and are a warm weather crop, so they are best produced during the dry season. Mariam asked, what is the best method of preserving green beans? She said, there are different ways of preserving green beans. However, a small quantity can be preserved using bottles. The beans are washed and packed tightly in jars, preferably with a wide mouth and covered with water. The water is changed every day for 3 days. On the 4th day, the water is replaced with a brine made of half a cup of salt to a quarter cup of water. Then the processing is finished with a cap full of oil and the bottles are closed. One can also preserve them in a freezer. Muazu asked about the health benefits of green beans. Dr. Rashida responded by saying, green beans are a rich source of vitamins A, C, and K, folic acid, and fiber. Adding more plant foods such as green beans to the diet decreases the risk of obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. Additionally, green beans appear to promote fertility. She further said green beans are eaten around the world and are sold fresh, canned, and frozen. They can be eaten raw or steamed, boiled, stir-fried, or baked. At the end of the explanation about green beans, we gave a round of applause to Dr. Rashida, which made her happy and overjoyed. She finally took us on a tour of the green farm at Sankara village, where we witnessed how green beans are harvested. She gave each one of us half a bag of beans. This was the reason why I want to become a farmer, Yahya further said. His father said, you will receive my support to become a farmer when you grow up. Yahya was thrilled on hearing his father's remarks and said, thank you, father.